Hey, it's Knockron here, and today we're going to talk about how to survive Eve. Eve can be very challenging, especially to the new player, and a lot of people just don't know what to expect. You expect one thing. A lot of the games out there hold your hand for the first few days. They give you a lot of Care Bear stuff. They teach you a lot of things, but they make it really, really easy. And Eve is not like that. They start you off with a tutorial that takes, I don't know, roughly an hour. And they have some beginner things, the career agent missions, and then you're kind of out there on your own. And there's a lot of stuff to expect, but the new players don't expect it. So I'm going to give you 10 things to help you survive Eve. Now, are these the only things? No. Am I going to miss details for these? Most likely. Everybody has their own ideas and their own things that they believe should be in there and things that they believe don't belong in there. But for me, I have been playing for quite a long time without any kind of break. And to me, these are the things that will keep you in there. So, without further ado, let's talk about the 10 things to help you survive Eve. Okay, so the first one is the most basic, and that is expect to die. Expect to die over and over and over again. A lot of people have adversity to loss. Oh no, I've died, I've lost everything. Well, that's the great thing about Eve is even if you were to somehow lose everything, you can always go and do level 1 missions in a rookie ship and make enough ISK to buy a frigate and then do other missions and keep building your ISK up. You can do rookie missions and get a venture and go out and start mining to make your money back, or get an exploration ship and just basic and start. So there's a lot of ways that you can make ISK to bring things back. So don't be adverse to dying. You're gonna die. Whether it's to NPCs or other players, you're going to die. And the more comfortable you get with that, the better off you are in Eve, because then you can enjoy it. When you are scared to die, you're not going to undock. You're not going to do the things that are fun in game, which is going to lead you to quit. So don't be one of those people that's afraid to undock and afraid to die. It's going to happen many, many, many times. No matter how good you are going to die. And that's just part of the game. And it should be. That's a lot of what makes Eve fun. So don't let dying turn you off from Eve. And don't let dying spoil your fun. Remember, you're going to die. Is do the tutorial. Do the tutorial. I cannot stress that enough. If you are a new player, do the tutorial. It will give you a good feel of how to get around in Eve, how to fight, how to dock, how to do all the different things that you need to do. When you skip that tutorial, you miss out on a lot, and it makes it that much harder to do. Remember, you are not going to get out of your pod or the ship. This is not a game where you're going to walk around and explore. You are in a ship the entire time. The ship is the game. So learning how to maneuver your ship, how to orbit, how to keep your distance, how to do all those different things, that is taught in that tutorial. And it is a very good tutorial. It really gives you a good idea. It is a little bit long and drawn out. They could have made it a little bit quicker, I guess. But really, it's well thought out, and I highly suggest doing it. If you have not played Eve in a long time, do the tutorial. It doesn't matter if you're a veteran. do the tutorial. It will give you some basic ISK, and it will teach you some stuff, or rather remind you of stuff. But do that tutorial. Number 3, do the career agent missions. Whether you are a returning player, they are great to get some basic ships and get some ISK and stuff in there. If you are brand new, they are great because, again, you get free ships, you get free stuff, and it helps you further understand the game. It will give you a couple different ships to play with. It will give you ISK, and it will give you a starting point. So do them, do them, do them, do them. Look in the agency, look under the missions, and find the career agent missions. Do all of them. Each one teaches you a different part of EVE, teaches you a different play style, pretty much everything other than PvP. So I definitely suggest doing those career agent missions, get that ISK, get those ships, and get that experience. You cannot go wrong by doing the career agent missions. Number 4 is choose a play style to start with. Okay, in order to really start to enjoy EVE and to make some ISK, you need to do what is going to be the most fun for you. Do not listen to other people. They're going to tell you what's fun for them, but do what's enjoyable for you. If you enjoyed the exploring aspect, do the exploring aspect. Go make some money, fly around, see what space is out there, and learn the game. If you enjoy mining, don't listen to other people. Go out and mine. Everybody needs minerals, okay? Do that part of the game that you enjoy. Production, if you enjoy production, do production. If you enjoy playing the market, then go ahead, do some stuff, get some ISK in, and start playing the market. You can make a lot of ISK by sitting in JITA and buying and selling. If you enjoy PvE, go out, do some missions, do the career agent missions, do the level 1 through 5 missions, do the home fronts. There's a lot of different things that you can do as far as player versus environment. Go out, do those, but start with something that you enjoy. Once you are a little bit more familiar, you have some ISK built up. If you want a PvP, great, do it. You're going to die a lot. That's okay. You're also going to learn every time you die. Pick a play style. Don't go with what other people tell you. Do what you want to do. Okay, this is your game, and nobody can tell you what's best. Everybody has their own opinions on the best ways to make ISK, the best parts of the game, and the most fun. But ultimately, that's up to each person. So be yourself, find the parts that you enjoy the most, and start with those. Make some money, buy ships, and do that stuff. Then you can go ahead and start trying out other things. But do what you enjoy. If you listen to others and pick a specific thing because they tell you that's the best way to make ISK, then you are going to hate EVE after a while and you're going to quit. Do what makes you happy. Do what you want to do in game to start. Number 5, and this I cannot stress enough. I cannot stress enough. When you were starting out, you were going to want to do all kinds of things. You're going to want to do this. You're going to want to do that. You're going to want to fly this. You're going to want to fly that. But before you do, train into specific ships. A lot of people go out there and their skills are a mess. They are throwing their free skill points at everything, and they are training this and that. And then after a couple months, they still cannot do a lot of the basic stuff because instead of training for something specific, they just did it dartboard style or shotgun style rather. Shoot your shotgun and you're going to hit a little bit of everything, but you're not going to really accomplish anything. So find a ship, find a playstyle. If you want a PvE, figure out what you want to do. Do you want to do mission running? Do you want to do, I don't know, it doesn't matter, but find a ship, find a fit, train into that ship, and then move on to another one. Well, that was one of the biggest mistakes that I made, and I quit the first time within 2 months because every day I was changing out my skill plan. I was moving skills around. Oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. And when I started playing, there wasn't all of the free skill points for unallocated skill points. There weren't injectors. So basically, whatever you started, you went with. And before I knew it, I had all of these level 1 and 2 skills trained, but I still could not fly a lot of the ships. I could not use a lot of the modules. I was dying easily. And it was very frustrating. Very frustrating. So if you're going to mine, get a fit for that venture. Train into that fit. Be the best in that ship you can be. Then train into the next ship that you want. Do you want to move into a barge? Move into a barge. Start training into that. If you want to start doing a little bit of, PvE, train into one of the different, destroyers or cruisers. But train into ships one at a time. Pick something and train it. Pick something and train it. Don't shotgun blast and end up 2-3 months down the road with a ton of level 1 and 2 skills where you're still not able to do anything in game. So I cannot stress enough again. Train into specific ships. Do one at a time. Okay, train into the different racial ships. Once you get a lot of the skills down, engineering and things like that, propulsion, gunnery, drones, you're going to be able to do most of the stuff in any ship. But don't forget, you need to train into the racial ships too. So start with frigates. They're the quickest and easiest. Get up to 5 in those skills. Then move on to destroyers. But train into specific ships. You don't necessarily have to train everything to 5 to start with, though it's really not a bad idea. But train into those ships. Get your skills to 3 or 4 before you move on. Okay? I cannot stress that enough. When you can't do anything in game, you get frustrated and quit. So pick specific ships and train into them. Number 6, corporations. You can be just fine and stay in an NPC corporation for your entire EVE career. There's nothing wrong with that. But there are a lot of good corporations that specialize in specific things that you could be a part of. Corporations that you'll get to know people more and do things with. Because EVE, while it can be fun solo, that's not how it was meant to be played. And finding friends to do things with makes EVE so much more enjoyable. But you have to be careful. There are corporations out there that just basically will randomly send everybody in Jita or a specific area an email. Come join us. Come join us. You've got to be careful with those. Some of those might be legit and just looking to grow, but a lot of those are looking to take your ISK. They could care less about you. They're not going to offer you anything. They just want to get a bunch of people in and get their tax money so they can get that to play their game. So be careful with that. Look around. If you are brand new, one of the best corporations you can join is EVE University. It will help you learn the game. But if you have that urge to go into nullsec or lowsec, a lot of the nullsec and lowsec groups also have different corporations that are high-sec corporations, but allow those people to come into nullsec or lowsec, learn the game that way. But definitely join a corporation or stay in the NPC one, but get to know people and play with people. Okay? Eve is not meant to be a solo game. And the longer you play alone, the more likely you are to quit. So find a corporation, look for something that meets your needs. A great place to look is the official EVE Online forums. They have a corporation recruiting area, and it'll tell you a lot about the corporations. But just remember, if you have to pay, or they're telling you you've got to contract your stuff to them to move it, then most likely it's not real. It's a scam. So you do have to be careful with that. But there are so many great corporations out there. I have been a member of quite a few, and I have run my own as well. So don't play Eve solo. It is a multiplayer game. So do that. Find a corporation. If you're not happy in the NPC one, find some friends. Play with other people. Enjoy the game. Number 7, scams. So, as I said, when talking about the corporations, there are a lot of scams out there. And Eve is one of the few games that really doesn't take any action against scamming. That is actually a playstyle. Unless it is hurting a player, people can scam you. There's all kinds of scams. There's the ISK doubling, where send me ISK and I will double it. I have so much money, I want to share it. And they have specific rules in their bios and all that stuff. And they find any reason they can not to send it to you after you've sent them a certain amount that they're looking for. So there's many scams out there. There's the good old contract scam where they'll list it as a ship, like a specific ship. And instead of putting that ship in there, they'll have another one. Or the fire sale, they'll put all these things that look like really good. You're looking, oh, look at all these faction items and everything else. But when you actually look at the faction items listed, they are cheap faction items. They want a billion ISK, and really there's not even 100 million worth of ISK of stuff in there. They just have so many items in there that they hope that you're not smart enough to use something like Eve Appraisal to see the value of that. So be careful. There are so many scams in Eve, and don't expect CCP or anybody else to do anything if you fall for them. That's part of the game. So be very careful. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. Watch the scams. Be a smart player. Don't lose everything you have to a scam. That is another reason why so many people quit. There are so many scams that I couldn't even begin to list them all. Not even close. So I have listed just a couple of the more common ones, but there are tons out there. So be vigilant. Watch for things. If it's too good to be true, it is. Be careful and avoid those scams. Number 8, helpful sites. There are all kinds of amazing sites for Eve. I mean, just amazing ones. The one that should be the first and foremost one you use is Eve University's wiki. It is just amazing with all of the information that is in there. But that is just but one. You have Eve Workbench for ship fittings. You have Lazy Blacksmith for production. There are just literally tons of them out there. I will link some in the description, but again, these are just a few. So do yourself a favor. Google things. Google is your best friend when it comes to Eve. You can find almost anything through Google, and there are just amazing, amazing sites. There are sites that will help you with your PI, sites that will help you with ratting and with what's in the different anomalies. There are sites that help you with mining, with production. I mean, it's just exploring. There are some that allow you to map wormholes so you can see where you've been, where you're going, and everything else. There's just a plethora of amazing sites that will help you. And don't forget, Google is one of the most important ones, aside from Eve University's wiki. Number 9 is helpful applications, helpful apps. And again, there are a ton. Now, you do need to be careful. You do need to make sure that the ones you are using are legit, that it's not a way to plant a Trojan or something to gain access to your account or other stuff. But there are a lot of amazing programs out there. EveMon, which is great for characters and setting skill plans so that you can train into specific things and stuff like that, because you can transfer those, set up a skill plan in EveMon, and then you can transfer it to game. Faya, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but PYFA is an amazing fitting tool, and it allows you to do so many things. You can link your characters to that, so you can see which characters can fly specific ships and fits, and you can add in implants and everything else. It is a must have. There are just so many of them. There's a lot of ones that have kind of fallen to the wayside. They're no longer kept up, but there's just so many of them. So I will list a few, but Eve University Wiki has a lot of them. But again, just be careful where you get them from, because while most are legit, there are some things out there, just like anything else, that their main goal is to break into your account or your computer or whatever. So with anything that you install, you need to be careful. But Eve has so many amazing people that have made all kinds of apps to help you out. So definitely Google those, use Eve University Wiki, find them, make sure they're legit, but use them. Number 10, and the very last thing that I want to cover, that is that Eve is a game. Don't let it become a job. That is the easiest way to get burned out in Eve, is to let it become a job. A lot of people think, oh, great, I can earn Plex, well, I can earn ISK in game, I can buy Plex, and I can Plex my account so I don't have to pay for it. That's great if you are making a ton of ISK and you have more than enough to spare. But if all of your gameplay is going to just making ISK to Plex your account, are you really having any fun? Because then it pretty much becomes a job. For me, I would rather subscribe with real money and use all of my Eve ISK for things in game, for buying skins, for buying new ships, for buying different modules, for doing different things. Do not let Eve become a job, or again, you will quit. You will quit. And don't get so caught up in the corporation or alliance that you are flying with that it again becomes a job. Because so many people get so caught up in that they don't really get to play. They're so busy doing different things for the corporation or more for the alliance or the coalition that they don't have time to play and just have fun. Eve is a game. Do not let it become a job. Please, 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 do not let it become a job. End this here. I hope it has helped. And as always, fly dangerous.